Have you ever felt that quiet pull inside you? The one that whispers there is more to life than what you are living right now? It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's subtle, almost like a faint heartbeat in the background of your days. Yet, when you pay attention, it's powerful enough to change everything. That pull is not random. It is not an accident. It is the universe itself sending you a signal, guiding you toward your highest excitement, toward the version of you that is waiting to be born. Most people ignore this signal. They bury it under responsibilities, fears, and the constant noise of survival. They tell themselves that excitement is a luxury, that following their heart is unrealistic, that passion doesn't pay bills. So they shrink, they compromise, they silence the very compass that was designed to guide them. But you are here, listening, because a part of you knows that silence has lasted too long. You feel it, a hunger that can't be ignored, a knowing that life is not meant to be endured but lived. Think about this. Why would the universe give you a spark of excitement, an idea, a dream, a feeling that lights you up from the inside if it wasn't meant for you? That inner excitement is not coincidence. It is intelligence. It is guidance. It is a coded message saying this way. This is who you really are. Every time you feel lit up by an idea, a possibility, a vision of what could be, it's not just imagination. It's alignment. It's the universe pointing you toward your own expansion. And yet, fear rises. The voice of doubt says, what if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if people don't understand? That's natural. But here's the truth. Fear is not a stop sign. Fear is proof. You are standing at the edge of your comfort zone, the very place where growth begins. Your highest excitement lives beyond that edge. And the only way to claim it is to step forward, even if your legs shake, even if your mind protests, because excitement and fear often come together. But if you look closely, excitement is always the stronger force. Imagine what your life could feel like if you trusted that signal. Imagine waking up with energy instead of dread. Imagine living in a flow where opportunities appear, where synchronicities guide you, where the right people and ideas show up just when you need them. This isn't fantasy. Science shows that when you act on passion, your brain lights up, your resilience grows, your creativity expands. You literally become more capable, more alive, more magnetic. That is the emotional reward waiting for you. Stay with me, because the journey we are about to take will challenge the beliefs that have held you back. It will strip away excuses, doubts, and fears until only truth remains. And that truth is simple. The universe is already speaking to you. Your highest excitement is the signal. All you need to do is listen and follow. If you can open yourself to that possibility, if you can allow yourself to trust the whisper, then what's ahead is not just inspiration, it's transformation. This is where your real life begins. The moment you choose to follow your highest excitement, something extraordinary begins to happen. The weight you've been carrying starts to lift, not because the challenges vanish, but because your energy shifts. You are no longer pushing against life, you are moving with it. The resistance you felt for so long wasn't because you were weak, it was because you were out of alignment. And alignment is everything. When you act in harmony with your deepest excitement, you enter a state of flow where effort feels lighter, time feels different, and results unfold with a kind of grace you cannot manufacture. But the first step is always the hardest. The first step requires courage because it often looks unreasonable. It might mean leaving a path that others told you was safe. It might mean risking judgment, risking failure, risking the unknown. And yet, what is the greater risk? To step into uncertainty or to stay in a life that drains you of your spirit every single day? The truth is, safety without passion is not safety at all. It is a slow death. Every moment you ignore your highest excitement, you betray yourself. Every moment you choose fear over passion, you shrink into a smaller version of who you were born to be. Think of your life as a canvas. You can choose to paint in muted colors, repeating the same strokes day after day, safe but lifeless. Or you can choose to throw bold colors across it, unpredictable, vibrant, alive. That boldness is not reckless, it is necessary. Because the universe responds to movement, not hesitation. It cannot rearrange itself around you until you take a step. And once you do, once you show that you trust the signal, doors begin to open. People you never expected to meet show up. Ideas you never thought of surface. Opportunities you could never have planned begin to align. This is not magic. It is cause and effect. Psychologists call it activation energy. The moment you commit, even in a small way, your brain begins rewiring. Your focus sharpens. You notice possibilities that were always there but hidden behind fear. Your physiology shifts. Excitement produces dopamine, the brain's fuel for motivation and creativity. This is why following your highest excitement creates momentum. It is not about forcing results. It is about entering the frequency where results naturally appear. Yet, you must be willing to act even when you don't see the full path ahead. That's where most people stop. They want guarantees before they begin. But life doesn't work that way. The signal only reveals itself step by step. Your excitement today might not show you where you'll be 5 years from now, but it will always show you the next step. And that step is enough, because the path unfolds only when you walk it. Waiting for certainty keeps you standing still. Acting on excitement builds the bridge as you move. So ask yourself right now, what is the thing that excites you, even if it scares you? What is the spark you've been ignoring because it felt impractical or too risky? That spark is not random. It is your roadmap. The universe does not send signals for fun. It sends them because they are the coordinates to your purpose. The more you ignore them, the further you drift. The more you honor them, the closer you come to living the life that was meant for you. And here is the most important truth. You don't have to know how it will all work out. You only need to trust enough to take the next step. The universe is not asking you to leap off a cliff. It is asking you to follow the light one step at a time. And every step you take in that direction multiplies your power, your clarity, and your destiny. The reason your highest excitement feels so alive is because it carries truth within it. It is not just a fleeting desire, not just a passing distraction. It is a resonance, a vibration that aligns with the deepest part of who you are. When you feel that surge of energy, that spark that makes your heart beat faster, it is because you are brushing against your authentic self. That is why ignoring it feels so heavy. When you silence excitement, you are silencing your own soul. And no achievement, no comfort, no approval from the outside world can ever replace the feeling of living in alignment with your truth. Most people trade their truth for security. They convince themselves that the responsible choice is to keep their dreams in a box, locked away where they can't disturb the routine. But what they don't realize is that the box is a cage and the routine is a prison. You were not born to shrink. You were born to expand. The pulse of excitement is proof of that expansion waiting to happen. When you follow it, you are saying yes to life itself. You are saying yes to growth, yes to possibility, yes to becoming who you were always meant to be. And here's what is remarkable. When you follow what excites you, you become a light for others. People see courage in you, and it awakens courage in them. They feel your energy, your aliveness, and it reminds them of their own forgotten sparks. This is why following your excitement is not selfish. It is service. By living your truth, you give others permission to live theirs. You become a walking reminder. It is possible to step outside fear and into freedom. The ripple effect of one courageous act can inspire countless others to rise. Your mind will argue. It will tell you that following excitement is impractical, that it's irresponsible, that it will cost too much or risk too much. But the mind is wired for survival, not expansion. Its job is to keep you safe, even if that safety suffocates you. The heart, on the other hand, is wired for truth. It knows where your freedom lies. The conflict you feel inside is the battle between the voice of safety and the voice of truth. And in the end, you must decide which voice you will obey. Will you live for survival or will you live for aliveness? When you choose aliveness, you begin to unlock capacities you didn't know you had. Your confidence grows not because fear disappears, but because you prove to yourself that you can act in spite of it. Your resilience strengthens because every challenge becomes evidence of your own power. Your creativity expands because you are no longer suppressing your energy. Science confirms this. People who act on passion experience greater levels of fulfillment, stronger mental health, and higher performance in every area of life. You are not just happier when you follow excitement. You are stronger, sharper, and more capable of handling whatever comes. Ask yourself, what if your life was not about fitting in, but about standing out? What if your highest purpose was not to follow a script written by others, but to write your own? That script begins with excitement. It begins with the moment you stop waiting for permission and start honoring what you already know inside. You have felt it. You have glimpsed it. That flicker of possibility is not a fantasy. It is your compass. And the more you trust it, the clearer it becomes until there is no doubt left. Only direction, only momentum, only freedom. The deeper you lean into what excites you, the more you realize that life was never meant to be a struggle of endless resistance. Struggle comes when you fight against your natural current. Flow comes when you align with it. Your highest excitement is that current. It is the path of least resistance. Not because it is free of challenges, but because the challenges along it are meaningful. They grow you instead of breaking you. They refine you instead of draining you. That is the difference between a burden and a calling. One weighs you down, the other lifts you higher, even as it tests your strength. So many people confuse discipline with suffering. They think that in order to be worthy of success, they must grind through tasks that kill their spirit. But the greatest discipline is not forcing yourself into misery. It is committing yourself to what feels alive and staying devoted to it when your actions are fueled by passion. Consistency is not a punishment. It is a privilege. You no longer drag yourself forward. You are pulled forward. The energy of excitement creates its own momentum, and that momentum sustains you far longer than willpower ever could. This is why the universe designed excitement as a signal. It is the built-in navigation system of your soul. When you honor it, you move into synchronicity. Life begins to respond to you differently. Coincidences multiply. The right doors open at the right time. What others call luck is simply alignment. The outer world mirrors your inner decision. The moment you declare, I will follow what excites me, the universe begins reorganizing itself to meet you halfway. But it demands honesty. You cannot fake excitement. You cannot chase something just because you think it will look good or impress others or gain approval. That is not true excitement. It is ego dressed as passion. True excitement is quieter but deeper. It resonates in your chest. It feels expansive, liberating, undeniable. You know it when you feel it because it doesn't just come from desire. It comes from recognition. It feels like remembering who you are. And once you taste it, you cannot go back to living numb. Yet so many ignore this truth because they believe excitement is irresponsible. They believe the serious thing to do is settle, compromise, and call it maturity. But what is maturity without aliveness? What is responsibility if it costs you your soul? Real responsibility is living in a way that honors your truth. Real maturity is refusing to abandon the fire within you. You owe it not just to yourself, but to the world. Because when you live fully alive, you bring energy, inspiration, and light into a world starving for it. Consider the alternative. A life where every day feels like a repetition of the last. A life where you silence every spark of joy because it doesn't fit the mold. A life where years pass and you realize you never truly lived. You only existed. That is the cost of ignoring the signal. That is the regret that so many carry silently, wishing they had been brave enough to listen when their heart was speaking. You are not here to repeat that pattern. You are here to break it. You are here to trust the guidance within you, to walk the path that feels alive, even when it scares you. And the moment you decide to do that, everything changes. Fear does not vanish, but it loses its power. Doubt does not disappear, but it no longer rules you. You rise above the noise because you are anchored in something deeper, the unshakable truth that your highest excitement is not just a feeling, it is your destiny calling. Every time you ignore what excites you, you reinforce the belief that your desires are not valid, that your inner voice cannot be trusted. And every time you choose to act on what excites you, no matter how small, you strengthen a new belief that your soul knows the way, that the universe can be trusted, that you are not alone on this path. Belief is not built in a single leap. It is built in repeated choices, in small moments of courage, in quiet decisions that add up to transformation. This is how confidence is created, not by waiting for proof, but by daring to trust before the proof appears. Psychologists call this self-efficacy, the belief in your own ability to shape your life. And the fastest way to build it is to act on your excitement. Each step creates evidence. Each action tells your nervous system, I am capable, I am moving, I can handle this. Over time, fear loses its grip because your mind has proof that you are stronger than it once believed. This is why following excitement is not just about passion. It is about rewiring your entire identity. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstance and begin seeing yourself as a creator of possibilities. And the shift does not just stay within you. The world responds to the energy you project. People sense authenticity. They feel it in your voice, in your presence, in the way you carry yourself. When you are lit up from within, you draw others toward you without effort. You don't need to convince anyone or prove anything. Your excitement speaks louder than words. It is contagious, magnetic, undeniable. This is how opportunities expand, not because you chase them, but because you radiate the kind of energy that cannot be ignored. But you must guard this energy. You must protect it from the voices of doubt that will try to pull you back into conformity. Some people will not understand your choices, and that is okay. Their fear has nothing to do with your path. Their disbelief is not your burden to carry. Remember, you are not here to live according to someone else's map. You are here to draw your own. And those who are meant to walk with you will recognize the fire in you and support it. The rest will fall away, and their absence will create space for those who truly belong in your journey. Every great transformation requires shedding. You will shed old habits, old beliefs, and sometimes even old relationships. At first, it may feel like loss, but in truth, it is clearing. You cannot step into who you are meant to become while clinging to everything that kept you small. Trust the process of release. Trust that what falls away is not punishment. It is preparation. The universe does not take without giving. Every ending opens space for a beginning. Every closed door makes room for the one that is meant for you. So ask yourself, what are you willing to release in order to follow your highest excitement? What weight have you carried long enough? What belief, what fear, what opinion of others is no longer worthy of your energy? The signal you feel inside is not asking you to add more. It is asking you to strip away what no longer serves you, so that the real you can finally breathe. And once you do, once you step forward lighter, freer, more aligned, you will realize that the universe was never holding you back. It was only waiting for you to say yes. When you strip away what no longer serves you, what remains is clarity. That clarity is not always about the entire future. It is about the present moment. The universe does not reveal the whole journey. It reveals the step that is alive right now. Your highest excitement is always in the now. It is not a distant fantasy. It is the spark available in this moment. Too many people paralyze themselves by waiting for a perfect plan, but life does not respond to waiting. It responds to movement. And the smallest step taken in excitement carries more power than a lifetime of hesitation. This is why presence is so essential. When you are present, you can hear the signal. When you are lost in worry about the future or regret about the past, the signal feels faint. But the moment you return to the now, it becomes clear again. You notice the opportunities right in front of you. You feel the excitement in small actions that were invisible before. Presence sharpens your awareness, and awareness is the gateway to alignment. Think of excitement as a compass. It does not give you a map, but it always points you toward your true north. Each time you act on what feels alive in this moment, you take another step in the right direction. And step by step, the path reveals itself. This is how you build trust with the universe, by moving with it instead of against it, by following the signal without demanding certainty, by choosing faith over fear again and again until faith is no longer a choice but your natural state of being. The beauty of this way of living is that it transforms even ordinary moments. You begin to see that excitement is not always about grand achievements. It can be as simple as a conversation that lights you up, a project that inspires you, a practice that makes you feel more alive. When you honor those small sparks, you strengthen the channel. You create a rhythm of alignment that carries into every part of your life. And from that rhythm, bigger opportunities are born. The extraordinary is built on the consistent honoring of the ordinary. Do not underestimate the power of these small choices. Neuroscience shows that every time you follow what excites you, you reinforce neural pathways that make it easier to choose again next time. You are literally rewiring your brain to favor courage over fear, authenticity over conformity, passion over numbness. This is not abstract, it is biology. Your nervous system adapts to the choices you make, and with each decision, you are sculpting the person you become. And when you live this way, you discover something profound. Excitement is not just a signal, it is a state of being. It is a way of life where you no longer wait for permission, where you no longer seek validation, where you no longer measure yourself by external standards. You become guided from within, unshakable, because your compass is unshakable. The storms of life still come, but they do not throw you off course because your direction does not depend on conditions outside of you. It depends only on your willingness to listen, to trust, to follow. This is the invitation that life is giving you now, to stop postponing your truth, to stop silencing the whisper inside you, to stop living half alive when the fullness of who you are is begging to be expressed. You already know what excites you. You already know where your soul is pulling you. The only question that remains is whether you will answer. And if you do, the universe will answer back with more than you ever imagined possible. Answering that call is the turning point of a life. It is the moment you stop existing on autopilot and begin living with intention. Every dream you carry, every vision that stirs something inside you is waiting for that yes. And the moment you give it, even quietly, even without knowing how, the universe rushes to meet you. That yes is the most powerful declaration you can make. It says, I am ready, I am willing. I trust the signal more than I trust the fear. When you live this way, your identity begins to transform. You are no longer someone who hopes life will change. You are someone who creates change. You are no longer someone who waits for opportunities. You are someone who recognizes them, acts on them, and multiplies them. This is how destiny is shaped. Not by accident, not by luck, but by a consistent willingness to follow what excites you step after step until the life you once imagined becomes the life you actually live. Fear will still visit you, but it will no longer control you. Doubt will still whisper, but it will not define you. Because each time you move in spite of it, you build proof that you are bigger than fear, stronger than doubt, and far more capable than you once believed. And the more proof you collect, the less those voices matter. They may speak, but they will not sway you. You will stand firm, anchored in the knowing that you are aligned with something greater than your fears. And here is the deeper truth. Following your highest excitement is not just about what you achieve, it is about who you become. It is about becoming a person who chooses courage over comfort, authenticity over approval, alignment over compromise. That kind of person radiates strength, not because life is easy, but because they are unshakable in their commitment to truth. And that kind of person changes the world simply by being fully alive. Every great movement in history, every innovation, every piece of art, every act of transformation began with someone who followed an inner spark that others could not see. They were called dreamers. They were called unrealistic, but they were simply tuned into the signal. You carry that same potential. You carry sparks that no one else can bring into existence. If you silence them, the world loses something only you could give. But if you honor them, you add a thread to the fabric of human possibility that will never unravel. Do not underestimate this. The dream inside you is not small. It may look small at first, it may seem insignificant, but it contains within it the seed of greatness. Every oak tree begins as an acorn. Every revolution begins as a whisper. Every transformation begins as a single choice to follow the signal. Your choice matters. Your yes matters. Your willingness to honor your excitement is not just for you. It is for everyone who will be touched by the life you create. This is your invitation to rise, to step into the flow of your true path, to let your highest excitement guide you into a life that feels expansive, purposeful, and free. You are capable. You are ready. The universe has already placed the signal inside you. Now is the moment to follow it. Now is the moment to trust that everything you need will reveal itself the second you decide to move.